Frank, Coach Mike here, Band 3 Tennis. Taking a look at your forehand from a couple weeks ago. I remember stroke production. Stroke production is based on dimensions of the court and physical laws, not any coach's opinion, unique theory, philosophy, just science. The green line on your video on the left is going to represent a rough sketch of your stroke pattern. The yellow line, or the red line, is going to trace your finish and the unwanted movement of the racket coming down across your body. The yellow line will represent a power line. The blue circle, something to keep your eye on as we get to the back of the stroke. A little fishtail that you do. Okay, so from the racket in the ready position, roughly the ready position, your racket's down. It's facing the ground instead of on edge. So when the racket comes up, again following the green line, racket comes up into what would look like a top of a loop. Then the racket goes down way too early, faces the ground, which is good because you want closed strings. But now because the racket actually, the tip is pointing at the camera, you're going to fishtail it back right here. If you follow the green line and see in the circle, the racket flips to what we call the slot position, where the butt cap looks at the ball. So that's the position that you want to get to. So that's very good. Elbow's a little bit too far away from the body. That's going to cause you to swing away from yourself. Instead of inside out, it's going to be outside in. And we'll see that more from the rear view video. So that this is what the circle represents, the blue circle, is this flip right here. Okay? So we don't want that little flip. We want to be able to get down there more efficiently than that. So with a loop swing, you have actually dropped to the bottom of the loop and then stopped your racket to do a little flip. Okay, and that's something that we're going to want to get rid of. Okay, so now going out to the hit, still tracing the green line. Okay, very good eyes at the contact. Strings are vertical at the hit. But you really didn't keep them closed. You can see the strings, they were closed back here facing the ground, but now you got the strings looking almost right at the ball too early. You really want to attack the ball at the top edge from below the ball. Okay, so now there's the contact again, and now we see the yellow line, which represents the power line. So your front shoulder is behind your front foot. Okay, so that would be a neutral or negative power line. You want that shoulder leaning forward into the shot above and in front of your left knee, and that would put that ball about 2 more feet in front of you. The red line, this movement right here, this flipping over of the racket, this windshield wiper look, okay, not needed motion. That does not give you topspin. The ball is already gone. The topspin was generated from the bottom of the loop up. So this movement is a wasted movement, which actually brings your racket off tangent as far as a tracking motion. We'll talk about that from the rear view. We talked about that on the court. The longer your strings go to the ball, the longer your strings go to your intended target, the better chance you have of hitting your target. Okay, so at contact, your shoulders are already almost square to the net. We want to be at about a 45-degree angle at contact. The knee extends through the hit, upward drive on a diagonal through the ball. You're trying to do it mostly with your hand. So we'll get this forehand cleaned up. So what we'll do now is we will go to the side view of mine. Now I'm not hitting a moving ball, but we'll see efficiency. Okay, so from the ready position, my racket is more up, an upward position, 45-degree angle. So now when I turn, making a unit turn from my belly button, moving the racket, my ready position really is just turned sideways. Okay, so no movement so far, independently of my body. The hand is not moving the racket, the hips are moving the racket. So now the racket stays up higher longer. And get this over a little bit. Stays up higher longer, and now I drop to the same slot you were in the blue circle, my racket is closed, and I didn't have to flip it back. I just made the top of the loop. So now my racket is well below the ball. You can see the strings are staying closed. You saw your strings opening. Okay, if we go back to right about here, okay, your strings are very closed right here, but really you're starting to get your strings already facing the ball. So the difference in the angle, that top edge of my racket is really attacking that ball from the 6 o'clock mark on the ball up through the 12 o'clock mark on the ball. Shoulders are a bit more sideways at the hit. Yes, I could stay a little more sideways longer. You really don't face the net until after you make contact. It happens very quickly. Okay. So my arm extended, you can see the difference in the power line. My left shoulder is above my left foot and slightly in front. Left hand is being controlled. There's the brush up on the ball, head staying still at the contact, racket tracking straight up and through the shot. And no reason to flip it over. The movement of the rolling of the wrist, the rolling of the forearm is not going to do anything for me. Do I ever use my wrist in tennis? Yes. The answer is yes. I do to add pace. But if I'm in a baseline exchange, I can't afford to use my wrist because I don't want to hit short first. Okay, so a circular swing gives you the circular spin, not the movement of the hand going through the ball. You see on the left, you have a flip to try to get that top spin going. If you hit the ball early, you'd be in a lot of trouble. I mean, if somebody gives you a slow ball, you're going to swing early and they're going to top that ball into the net. Okay. My racket's just tracking out and through the ball, straight up. Nice spin, head still, legs lifting through the hit. Alright, there's a view of the side view, just a circular swing. You just want to make a nice movement that would look like a circle, or actually like a Nike symbol. From the start of my racket, the racket just makes this shape, up and through the hit, and then finishing over the shoulder. Alright, less movement, more efficiency. That's what it's all about. And then there will be no injuries. Alright, Frank, there's the side view. Hope you get a lot out of this. Talk to you soon.